nothing like whiling away the hours with a nice day of fishing. I just wish I could get this boat to go somewhere.
Woohoo! Come on, Tyler, get a move on!
Hey! Where'd you get those wheels? Hi, and welcome to Junkyard Wars, where garbage in doesn't equal garbage out. But the junkyard is a harsh mistress, and to emerge victorious, our warriors will have to keep on an even keel.
The challenge is to build a land yacht, which is basically a boat on wheels. They'll have to sail it around this dry lake bed using only the power of the wind. It'll be a two-stage relay race with 2 team members riding on each leg. The team who finishes first will sail through to the semi-finals. Today, both teams are from that Mecca for Techies, MIT. First up are the 3 wise women, our first all-female team, the Quantum Mechanics.
I'm Layla. I'm the team captain.
I'm Kim. My name's Danielle.
We're from Boston, and we met at the MIT Media Lab.
So Layla is the welder and metal worker. Kim is the jack of all trades.
Danielle is the muscle of our team and is our amazing engine guru. We've taken apart cars, bicycles, and lawnmowers and built stuff out of them.
And we all share a love of Balinese gamelan music
And punk rock. This is us doing a common MIT activity called dumpster diving. All right, score.
We're gonna win. We're gonna do a good job.
Quantum Mechanics are gonna rock.
We're the Quantum Mechanics!
Breezing by to help the Quantum Mechanics get the wind up is Nord Embredon. He's been making and sailing land boats since he was 7 and has won the landlubbers version of the America's Cup no fewer than 10 times.
The Geeks are 3 self-professed total nerds who normally prefer the slide rule to the sledgehammer, but are more than willing to get dirty.
We're the Geeks!
Hi, my name's Thomas, and I'm the team captain.
Hi, my name is Rhett Creighton.
Hi. I'm Coops.
We all went to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
We have 5 MIT degrees among us. Rhett is the physics major, so we're not quite certain if he's going to say anything practical.
I have all the theoretical experience.
I'm not sure what good that's going to do us in a junkyard.
Thomas has all the practical experience.
He's the master of KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
The Geeks will prevail. We're gonna destroy them!
Secant, tangent, cosine, sine, 3.14159, integral, radical, UDV, flipstick, slide rule, MIT!
Hoping to drag the Geeks back to reality is Dennis Bassano, #1 opponent of Nord Embredon in the dirt boat world, with his sleek ship, the Green Machine. There's going to be some rivalry in the wrecking yard today.
Let's go get him, Geeks!
Yeah! All right, teams, hustle up here. Geeks!
Yeah!
Quantum Mechanics!
Yeah!
Prepare to be blown away. I want you to build me a boat. I also want you to build me a sail. I want you to build me a sailboat, but not to go over the water. This one is to race on dry land.
As ever, you'll have just 10 hours to complete the task, starting from when the junkyard timer gongs. Anchors away! Go!
Before they can get underway, the teams have to decide how they're going to build their half boat, half cars.
All right, guys, we have to build a land yacht. Dennis, you're our expert. Can you help us out here?
I think I can. It's going to be a T-shaped thing, maybe a motorcycle front end on the front for steering because it's already built.
Land sailing is going to require a sail, a mast, a body, and at least 3 wheels. We want to go 70, 80 miles an hour with this yacht. Doesn't that sound great?
A land sailor is basically a boat that doesn't need an ocean. In place of a hull, it has a lightweight body with wheels. Without any water to slow it down, a land boat can leave a seaboat in the dust. Of course, the secret to speed is in the sail. The bigger the better, so both teams will need lots of strong material.
Okay, so what material do you want us to look for the sail?
Danielle, we probably should look for something like an awning material, non-stretchable, maybe a tarp. This has got to be about 90 square feet, something like that. So, and about 20 foot tall.
Expert Nord is steering the quantum mechanics toward a traditional lightweight design.
We're looking for the whole weight of this yacht, ideally 300 pounds, 400 pounds. If we're 1,000 pounds, we're in trouble. So.
But over on the red team, Dennis has a wild idea.
Now, I think sail materials will be tough to find in a junkyard, so one of my ideas was to use sheet metal, actually. That way, it won't flutter. We won't have to have battens to hold it out.
Dennis, you're the expert.
Uh-huh.
Do people do this for real? Do the pros use steel?
Nobody uses steel. The idea, it could be aluminum.
It's a gamble, and it remains to be seen if the geeks will go for it.
You have to get some round 15-inch wheels, 2 of them, some sail material like tarp, something to use as a mast.
We're going to start with the most key component, that's our mast. We'll need a front end and frame material.
We know what we need to do. Let's go do it. Yeah!
All right, guys,
All right, let's go.
Great.
It's time for our gifted girls and brainy boys to enroll in Junkyard 101. And they're off.
These have got to be the 2 brainiest teams we've ever had on this show.
Kidding. But Confucius say bits and bytes are very different from nuts and bolts.
Yeah, and Confucius never had to make a dirt boat out of junk either.
It's all hands on lightweight aluminium, especially for the geeks and their mad metal sail. Ahoy! Danielle's copped a kayak, a perfect streamlined body for their sand yacht. But expert Nord's not convinced.
kind of small, but...
It's back to the yard, if they can get there.
Look out, there's geeks about. But it seems like the MIT tradition of dumpster diving is paying off, at least for Rhett.
We like that.
If not for anyone anywhere near him.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah!
The driving's improving.
Finally! Good reverse.
But it's a long road to victory in this battle of the brainiacs.
Which one of our teams will breeze through this nerdy knockout and which one will end up flat on the canvas? Drop anchor right here to find out.
Welcome back to Junkyard Wars, where our two teams of trash-trawling junk junkies have set sail on a mission to build a couple of devilish dirt boats.
Lightweight is the key to a fast boat, but it's got to be durable. That old parachute doesn't look up to snuff for the quantum mechanics sail.
The geeks are on a roll. That trailer's wheels would look swell on their metal-sailed land yacht.
All right.
And Rhett snagged a mast wrapped in some makeshift sail fabric.
Rhett, you demand, Rhett!
Expert Dennis loves the mast, but the flimsy cloth gets a cooler reception.
All right.
Maybe.
So this is your sail material here? All this stuff looks pretty tattered.
No, we're not going to use this
Yeah,
probably.
this is a little weird.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
You need a tissue?
He's suggesting that we use an aluminum sail so we can keep an airfoil shape.
An aluminum sail. Why go with something like that?
We're not sure we are yet.
A good sail with good battens is the fastest thing you can have. But finding good sail and good battens in a junkyard, probably not going to happen.
Generally,
And so,
yes.
I think that a metal sail will be better than a bad cloth sail.
Any boat sail is basically like an aircraft wing, but instead of providing lift, it's turned on its end and sucks the boat forward. For maximum suck, the sail needs a good curved aerofoil shape and must be kept taut so it doesn't flap around. That's a tall order in the junkyard, so the geeks are ditching flappy canvas for sturdy sheet metal.
The green team's plans are poles apart from that. Danielle's going for the lightest stuff she can grab.
Here you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, hey, that's going to work.
This
too.
aluminum tube is a score.
Good piece for the body.
Okay.
It's long enough to be the main frame of their boat and carry a couple of quantums in this cramped but cozy kayak.
So what's the general scheme? What are we looking at here?
What we're hoping for is to build some air fairing here for the passenger and the pilot.
Right, because you've got to fit two people,
We
one
got
in
to
front
fit
of another.
one in front and the other is what we're trying to do.
Do you have any idea of what sort of speeds this is going to get up to?
Well, our expert says depending on how long the race is, 80 miles per hour.
No.
So.
Yeah.
80?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Presumably it's dependent on wind speed to some extent.
Yeah, but we sail many times the speed of the wind, up to
Right.
7 times the speed of the wind.
The quantum mechanics design is all about low weight and low drag, hence the sleek canoe body, aluminium instead of heavy steel for the frame, and a light fabric sail. The idea is that just one puff of wind will get their sand yacht moving, and it'll keep coasting along until the next puff comes. Before you know it, the quantum mechanics will be flying along at a terrifying 80 miles an hour, or so they hope.
The stakes are higher than usual today because this junkyard war is personal.
So do you know those fellas over the wall?
I do, especially Rhett.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I can imagine that Rhett's a bit
Rhett
of
is
a
an
character.
all-time friend, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Layla.
Yeah.
At the orientation talk, they say, oh, you're coming to MIT. There's this girl, Layla Hassan. She builds robots. That's what they say.
Hubba hubba.
Hubba hubba. Oh man.
So, I mean, any fireworks between the two of you?
Oh no, I've tried. I called her up once when I was on my deathbed in the ICU, and
Whoa. Okay, let's step it back a little bit.
last year I was run over by a truck. I was riding my bicycle, and so in the hospital I was like, well, how can I, make the most of this? So I call up Layla, and I'm like, Layla, if I survive, will you go on a date with me? And she's like,
Sweet.
She's like, sure, and woohoo,
Did you go on the date?
No, I haven't cashed in on it yet. You know what her favorite scent is on a man? WD-40. No kidding.
Our first junkyard romance.
It's living up to the song by the same name. It's just the passion. You can feel it between Rhett and Layla.
I didn't realise, when I was talking to Layla, I didn't realise the background story, but she told me about the fact that Rhett holds or tried for the Guinness Book of Records crawling competition,
Yes.
which he attempted in one of the longer corridors of MIT, and he crawled 10 miles.
And he did it all for Layla.
Well, secretly, I think he probably did.
You got me on my knees.
Romance was in the air when land sailing began in the 1950s. Back then, it was just a frolic on the beach.
Well, anyway, it's better than walking.
But now it's a high-speed, thrill-seekers pursuit. In 1999, the world land sailing speed record was set in a boat that had a solid wing for a sail. Racing across the Nevada desert, it reached an amazing 116 miles an hour. That boat was built and driven by our judge, Bob Dill.
Hey, Bob.
How are you?
Good, man. Have a nice seat on my fabulous throne here. It's good to have you.
Quite comfy. Yeah,
Very
very
comfortable.
posh.
So in a nutshell, what is the whole idea behind the quantum mechanics design?
Well, I think that the quantum mechanics have really gone for a lightweight. They've used aluminum for the frame. They're using a fabric sail, which is very light, and if it's done well, it's very efficient.
Okay, let's talk about the setup for the geeks.
I think the geeks are onto something here, but it's a bit of a flyer. They're talking about building a boat with a metal sail.
That sounds crazy to me.
It sounds crazy to me too, but as I've watched them do it and thought about it, if it works, it could be great, because one of the problems with building a cloth sail, particularly without the best materials, is getting the sail flat and have really good shape. This may be the beginning of a new era in sail making.
All right. Back in Geekland, a strong aluminum beam has showed up. Dennis likes the look of it.
Now you see, that could be a good place to set the mast and bolt the front end to.
But Captain Thomas has his mind elsewhere.
I'm worried the most about the sail, and I don't know anything about the sail.
I know.
So
That's why I got the mast.
I'm still scared about this aluminum sail.
Thomas isn't the only geek thinking about cloth sails.
Where does he find this stuff?
But Dennis is still pushing for sheet metal.
How we're gonna, once you cut it, remember that stuff? That edge, you just took it and went zip, and it just ripped right in half because there was no rolled over, sewn down edge on it.
We need to get these guys getting some aluminum, right?
I think so.
right.
I'm looking at this going.
Okay.
While Dennis is still working to win over the geeks, the quantum mechanics are in a flap about sails too.
It's not a bad material, but the problem with a boat sail is it's going to have way too much draft in it.
Do you think that's okay for the mast?
No.
No?
You got to have bigger mast.
Taller? Or
It's turning into a fabric fight, with Rhett gathering all the spoils.
Ah!
What did Nord say about it?
I don't know.
With all the good fabric gone, Danielle decides to be a material girl and makes a stealth attack on the geek stash.
Hey, this isn't our big bang here.
We're still very protective of the sail. Look at that.
Oh no, it looks like there's going to be a scrap. So who's your money on? Is it Danielle, the muscle of the quantum mechanics, or Rhett, the geek's gopher, who's also MIT's champion mud wrestler? And Danielle seems to be winning. Oh, but there's a foul on the play. Coop steps in to salvage the sail, and Danielle leaves empty-handed.
All right. This is Junkyard Wars, man, and these girls are ruthless. They're coming over and trying to steal our materials and whatever. We gotta fight them for it. 'Cause, you know, it's the Junkyard Wars.
This Rhett character is pretty feisty. He did a little something dirty to us while we were scrounging for material. Not that it's really necessary because we came out fine, but yeah, he seems pretty wily, but I don't think that with Ronnie, without Ronnie backing him, that he can really stand up to me. So maybe we'll like put that mud wrestling talent to effect, because I would totally just murder him.
I gotta say, I think this is the only safe place to be today.
Well, especially when Rhett's involved.
There's such mania.
Back in the quantum universe, the uncertainty principle is taking effect. Nord's getting worried about his brainy teammates' practical skills.
Yeah, I'm really worried about the mass. We just don't have the material we need yet. It's got to be a little smaller than this and a little larger than that.
Perhaps their combined PhD power can turn this helicopter into a mast.
No? Maybe for a different. Don't be afraid to say no.
You guys did a great job, but I think it looks nice right where it is.
We get an E for effort.
What about this broken plank for an axle?
It's a little heavy. No?
I think we're just going to go with two pieces.
It's broken.
Danielle, there's going to two pieces of tubing strapped together across.
Signs of unrest in the quantum camp.
I think, honestly, there's a bit of pickiness going on.
Oh, I'm getting a little worried. We're not finding the material we need. Been looking. Got some beautiful gals on the team and very smart, but I don't know if they've got everything necessary to find the materials that's necessary. And
so how are things going?
Well, we've got a plan.
That sounded pretty enthusiastic.
Whatever,
We've got a plan and we've got all the stuff we need, so just see how building goes.
Well, I got to be honest, I'd look around here and I just see, well, my bedroom, basically, a mess. This is an absolute mess. There's everything everywhere.
Oh, but we have a good plan.
You do know what all this stuff is for and what it's meant to do?
Pretty much.
So what so far has been the most overwhelming part of this? Is it?
I think the fight with Rhett over the tarp was pretty overwhelming.
I'm wondering though, is there a lot of love between the two of you, or no love, or?
There's a lot of love from our side.
From your side to their side?
Yeah.
You like those guys?
Yeah,
they're good guys.
Yeah.
I know one of them really likes you, Layla.
That's the rumor.
And I heard this whole thing about him getting hit by a truck, and he asked you out on a date. But has the date ever happened?
No.
Is Rhett ever going to get his shot at Layla?
Well, I promised him one date, so we'll see how that goes.
Looks like the geeks got their axle strong enough for two.
You think that's going to break?
But Dennis is still trying to convince them about that metal sail.
I'm nervous about the sail just ripping like those other ones. I'm looking at it, and I see a rip out in there already, and I see some holes around in there.
The sails they've found just aren't strong enough, but Dennis has spied an old moving truck with a sail-sized aluminium roof.
I think no matter what, we got to get the top off that thing up there.
It'll be an arduous job, especially if Rhett's involved, but a good stiff sail should be worth the sweat.
I mean, the thing is, Tyler, at the end of the day, it all comes down to floppiness or stiffness, doesn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The sails. The sails, Tyler. I mean, if you've got a floppy one like that, then you're just kind of wibbling around all over the place and not going anywhere. But a good stiff one is perfect, and you can power all the way to the finish.
It may not be as firm as the boys, but Kim's sail material is satisfyingly taut.
Kim, what'd you find?
This is good.
That's good.
The geeks are hard at work cutting off the roof of that old truck. It looks like they've wrangled themselves a sail.
How do you all feel about it?
I'm more convinced now. I talked to him about it. Yeah, a little bit.
We had a little discussion over lunch.
Yeah.
And Dennis converted yet another of our team members.
So that
It's divide and rule, is it?
The thing about it is it's not faster than a good sail with good battens, but it's going to be faster than a bad sail.
And you reckon you've only got the stuff to do a bad sail?
And I reckon in this junkyard you're not going to find anything to make a good sail out of.
I have faith in this for what it's worth.
You know, I'd rather have a stiff sail than a flappy sail.
Exactly.
So, you know, it
This is the way
may
to
not
do
be
it.
the fastest sail, but it's not going to go.
Exactly. It'll look good.
Yep. But I don't know. I think Dennis had this in his head for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
He's been hatching it. Didn't want to try it in his own life, so he's just trying it out on you.
He's waiting until he gets 3 people that'll spend 10 hours in a junkyard working on this thing. It's not cost him a dime yet, and he'll probably patent the thing.
While the geeks are contemplating sailing into nautical history, the quantum mechanics are still firmly in the doldrums. In fact, they still can't decide which tubes are which.
But you know, it might be the thing we ought to use for the whole frame.
Yeah.
I think we should go ahead. We should go ahead and use this
as the
as the actual
Sounds good to
frame.
me.
What if we cut it in half, make the axle out of this, that width? Well, we can use this aluminum tube now. If we don't use this for the mast.
Yeah,
I think the challenge is really good. The only problem being that none of us really know anything about it except for our expert, so we kind of have to defer to him for everything. And we like our expert. We just need we need to start building stuff soon, I think. And
All right.
we need to make a decision.
Yep, I think we're there.
Better hold off on that plan. Danielle's made a quantum leap. That aluminium lamppost is the mechanic's missing link. A mast that's light but sturdy enough to take the full force of the wind.
Wow. Was there any more of this out there? One more, maybe?
Yeah.
Is there one more of
There
this?
might have been one more. I think there might be an identical one.
Uno más, por favor.
All right, you landlubbers, you have 6 hours. This is your 6-hour time check.
Time's running short, and so is that lamppost.
If we had one more of those, that's 18 foot. That's perfect. And we'll weld it together. So,
With the quantum mechanics a plank short of a yard arm and the geeks sheet metal sailing into uncharted waters, it's testing times for our shorebound shipmates.
But if the geeks don't go and the quantum mechanics don't go, what will become of our dirt boat derby?
Frankly, Kathy, I don't give a damn.
It's riveting stuff watching the geeks work on their metal sail. Expert Dennis's plucky plan for this sailing first looks less like a wild card and more like a winner.
This'll work. Let's go hardcore aluminum.
But before Coob signs up, he wants to know what quantum expert Nord is planning.
Is this an aluminum sail gonna beat anything he comes up with?
I don't know what's he coming up with. If he has a real
So the
sail,
geeks cook up a kooky spying scheme.
give it a go.
Hey guys, we baked you some cookies.
Yeah.
We brought you some cookies.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, here it is. Here, Danielle.
Thank you.
You want some cookies?
Hey, you guys are all right, huh? Now get the heck out of here. Go on.
Despite the frosty reception, it's mission accomplished. The boys think they've got the girls licked.
They have some sail material, not that much. It's a lot smaller than ours.
We're good.
Let's go with it.
Let's
They're going
go.
with cloth. Let's go with it.
The geeks have nailed their colors to the mast and have gone for the world's first metal sail.
Wait, gloves?
As for the quantum mechanics, well, they have an axle, but not very much else.
All right, I'm on.
How's it going, girls?
Oh, fabulous.
Awesome.
How's it going, girl?
Good.
And boy?
Good, good.
And boy, there's just a slight bit of testosterone here,
Yeah, this,
but
fits
not
back
much.
here.
It's
Not too
mostly
much.
Team PMS here.
What? We have been so nice. What are you talking about?
Until now.
The geeks are looking particularly good here. I'm really liking the shape of that metal sail they're working on. I like the overall design. Again, I think it's going to be a little lighter than I originally thought, and that'll certainly be an advantage because they have roughly 50 extra pounds in the sail.
Now, Bob, to me, the geeks look like they're actually making some progress, but I look over at the quantum mechanics and I really can't say the same thing.
Sure. Well, I think the quantum mechanics are making some progress, but they're certainly well behind the geeks, I think, at this point. They haven't really started a sail. The geeks have pretty much got one.
In fact, the quantums are at a standstill again. Expert Nord's holding out for that perfect mast.
we would be
So,
styling with one more lamppost.
Well, let's not keep dreaming.
Seems,
Let's start
it
building.
seems pretty unlikely that we'll
Yeah.
get another one.
I'm
Unless
like
it
that.
was
It's
very-
unlikely.
But the team wants to make do with what they've got.
Nah. I think we can make do with that and something else maybe. I don't know.
While Nord struggles to make ends meet, Kim and Danielle return from the yard where they found a jewel in the junk.
Beautiful. Whoa! All right.
It's another lamppost and the long-awaited makings of the mechanic's mast.
Beauty.
When it rains, it pours. Danielle's found the other half of their sail and the last piece of the puzzle for the quantum mechanics. But they'd better get shipshape.
Arr, you scurvy dogs! If you're not done your dirt boats in 3 hours, you'll be walking the plank.
Oh no! All right, we're good. We're good.
It's showtime, and Rhett's trying to break his way into the movies. This old turnstile would make an ideal winch to keep that giant metal sail under control.
It's steel. If we could put a drum on this side, and you wrap the rope around the drum.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Top geek Thomas is attempting a tricky weld. To make their chassis long enough, he has to join 2 aluminum I-beams. It's at a critical spot, right where the mast goes.
When wind hits a boat's sail, its forces pass to the base of the mast. The bigger the sail and the stronger the wind, the greater the strain on the chassis. With that weld being the weakest point on the geek's boat, it'll be the first place to snap if the wind gets up.
Any weakness in Thomas's weld could spell big trouble on race day, so Dennis gives it the carefully calculated bounce test.
The mast will actually sit down on a saddle. The saddle will look like this, a metal plate bent, riveted on with a...
Over with the quantum mechanics, joining the mast to their round green base is proving quite a challenge.
Get it cherry red, we'll
I'll
bend
bend
it so it looks beautiful.
Two pieces about how big,
Alright.
because as soon as you tell me, I'll
Just
just
like
cut
you
'em.
have it.
Just like these?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
The flat bottom of the quantum mechanics mast wouldn't be stable on their round base, so they're using an age-old device to make it work, a saddle. 2 of them, in fact, one above and one below the tube, held together by another tube, and the mast sits on top. It's pretty complicated, and just like the geeks, if the boat's going to break anywhere, it'll likely be here.
But first, the bedraggled quantums need to make sure they drill the hole for the mast in the right place.
That's not where the mast goes, is it?
No! Mast is written right there. Axle is written right there. You get a big hug for that one.
That was a close call.
Thank God.
Do we have any more of this stuff?
Now comes a bit of impromptu blacksmithing.
Totally.
A touch of fine-tuning, and it's a perfect fit. There's no stopping the quantum mechanics now.
Kim's found a kid's bike for their front wheel. It's a lovely colour, but will it be strong enough?
Well, the quantum mechanics approach has been to build a light boat, and the ultimate light boat is just barely strong enough to do the job. And if it's not quite strong enough, then they're out.
The Geek's boat is a bruiser by comparison. They're mounting their mast on a beefy trailer hitch.
I want to go ahead and make weld.
The Geeks look like they're happy trading slide rules for power tools, except for Rhett, who's having a little trouble with that movie turnstile.
No. This is not good. This is not good.
He better get with it because Dennis needs every geek on board in his battle against Nord.
But this is quite important for you, isn't it? Because there's a little bit of rivalry between you and Dennis over the wall, I gather.
Well, there is. I've been the champion here in the U.S. for many years.
And I've been chasing them for probably 15 years now.
You finally caught him?
Last year I caught him and lapped him.
Oh, fantastic.
So now...
Like in your face, Nord!
So
For the first time?
For the first time,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's gonna hurt.
So it's exciting. So I don't want it to be, I don't want to fail at Junkyard Wars here. So I'm really, I got a little extra push going.
These guys are very, very serious competitors.
I was gonna say, is it friendly? Is it nasty? What kind of,
It's friendly.
Always friendly.
It's very serious, but it's friendly.
When the actual races are on, these guys take no prisoners.
They take no prisoners.
You never did when you race.
Oh, of course not. Nobody should. I mean, you're racing to win. Of
course.
Yeah.
Bob, you know what I'm gonna ask you? Where are you gonna put your money?
Well, looking at the quantum mechanics, they've got quite a bit left to do. They've got to mount their wheels They have to put the chassis together. Still got a sail to make. I think they've got a lot of promise. I think they'll look good in the end, but the Geeks are much further along. And I think overall they've got a great looking product. I think the Geeks sail, the Geeks chassis, their overall setup looks great.
The quantum mechanics are shifting up to warp speed. Nord finally welds his pair of lampposts into the much-needed mast.
No fooling around.
And Layla and Danielle finish it off with a sleek trailing edge.
Danielle tries to beat the world record for speedy sailmaking, but Nord almost comes unglued when he sees the result.
I think you ought to spray both sides.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. I think that what we should do
And then you
is,
let it dry a little bit.
like, I just want to get the sail done.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, then we wasted all our material.
Teams, I don't want you to panic or anything, but you've only got 1 hour left!
It's more welding worries for Thomas as he tries to strengthen the Geek boat.
What a crappy well.
But Rhett's finally wound up his work on the winch.
You like these, Ronnie?
Yeah. Lower on them.
The Quantums are flying by the seat of their pants.
That'll work.
This stuff smells great when you cut it.
I know, it smells
Looks
so
like the
good.
girls are getting high,
Oh, fiberglass. Smells good.
but the Geeks are one step ahead of them.
Keep going. Keep going. We are in. Oh, wow. Kathy's here.
All right, Thomas, get that.
It's a monster!
I wouldn't stand there if I were you. Sorry.
Somebody got their sail up first.
Now pull through.
Oh!
I think for the Geeks, the race day is going to be terrifying, to be honest with you.
Cut to the chase, Bob. I mean,
Well,
be honest.
because think about it. It's kind of like having your head in a bucket here. You got this great metal sail up there flapping and making all sorts of noise.
And you've got a meat cleaver for a sail.
Well, hopefully we're not having
Your
any
face
meat
constantly.
getting cleaved.
Okay,
The quantum mechanics are finally wrapping it up.
It's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work.
With a few flexible tent poles as battens, the green team have a jerry-rigged junkyard sail.
I guess I have to confess that the reason I took all that sail material in the beginning and I never put it back in the yard because I was keeping it from the girls.
well, don't look now, Rhett, but the girls are getting their sail up. Very exciting.
It's a little tricky,
Part is falling.
but it's there.
What team do you put it on after all the things are taken into consideration? Do you go with the quantum mechanics, or do you go with this big shark fin that the Geeks have?
Well, you know, the quantum mechanics have got a good, safe, reliable design. They're probably the safer bet. But I really am just so impressed with what this looks like. And if this does well, it's going to do real well. So I'm going to stay with the Geeks.
Teams, you have 10 minutes! This is your 10-minute time check!
Oh my gosh.
Okay, like that.
It's a mad dash to dandy up their dirt boats.
There's just time to add that last fairly useful ingredient, steering. 5, 4,
What?
3, 2, 1! Put down your towels, teams! That is 10
All right.
Is that cheers or cries?
Will the Geek shark fin sail slice through the air or through the Geeks? And will their welding withstand the wild desert wind? And will the quantum mechanics' hastily assembled hull hang together at all?
We've come to the El Mirage dry lake bed in the middle of the Mojave Desert, where it's do or die time for our two teams and their half-baked dirt boats as they go head-to-head on the well-baked earth.
Our teams have to race their boats around a triangular course that we've made on the desert floor, passing outside the two markers. It's a windswept day out here, so in the hour of tinkering we've given them before the race, they're going to have to batten down the hatches of their junkyard creations.
The quantum mechanics are tightening up and taping down everything they can get their hands on, although Kim finds a few moments to add some junk art to their junk sail. The Geeks are strengthening their mainframe with some scraps of sheet aluminum. They add a little grease to the wheels.
All right.
And because of the high winds, they decide to do something radical. cut down their sail.
We will we'll start in here somewhere with the 10 snips and go down kind of narrow and then slowly curve to the back and chop
Wow,
all
like
the sail
really
off.
dramatic
Yeah.
reduction.
All the sail beyond this line here is called roach. And what roach does is, in wind is it twists away and it turns the sail into a bad looking shape because this isn't supported. It's not on the tension line between the top of the mast
But
and
all
where
of
we're pulling
that
it.
can stay good and
All this will
tense.
stay tight, yeah.
And off it comes. There's no going back now for the geeks.
The Quantums are taking it lying down.
Put your head back and enjoy.
Ready to roll?
It's cozy, but is it race-worthy?
I have a real concern about our spindles because a motorcycle spindle, the big one is 5/8 and the littler one is a little smaller metric size. It could snap or and then a wheel come off and then we flip.
And looking at the geeks and their machine over there, how confident are we feeling about victory over here?
I like ours better for some reason.
It's more junky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more.
it's
It's
definitely-
more
it's
like
more of a junk
like it
boat,
came from a
definitely.
junkyard.
Yeah.
Of course, the boats wouldn't be properly finished without a lick of paint and a duct tape baptism. The geeks call their metal sail marvel Rolling Thunder, and Rhett even wrote it a song.
We are rolling thunder, and we strike down from the skies. Oh, faster than grease lightning, if we had wings.
The Quantums spark off some expert rivalry by going for Green Machine, which just so happens to be the name of Dennis's competition boat.
Hey, that's the name of my boat. Nord, you let him do that?
I don't think your boat had his name on it last time I saw it. Yeah, so I don't think that's I think that name's been taken now.
It's heating up out here. The judge delivers his final verdict on Rolling Thunder.
What do you think, Bob?
Well, overall, I think it looks real good. There are a couple things I don't like about it. I wish it was a little more robust, but I think it looks
Robust
good.
as in beefy, kind of
Beefy, a little
stronger?
beefier, yeah.
What do you like about it, though?
Well, certainly the sail continues to look real good. You know, I think the shape, and you can see it right here, looks pretty nice. How about
Over to the green team's Green Machine.
All right, the quantum mechanics. It looks good.
Yeah, it does.
What do you think?
Well, it's looking great. It's a little rough looking, actually,
Yeah.
but I think overall everything's here.
What do you like about what they've got here at the quantum mechanics?
Well, they've got a good wide axle. That'll make it stable. I like their seating arrangement. Very compact.
It's very rough, very rugged.
Well, it is.
Money time. Where do you
Okay.
put it? You go with the quantum mechanics, or you stay with the geeks?
I'm going to stay with the geeks. You know, that sail is just too beautiful looking to not stay with. But,
The geeks are your hard choice.
well, yes, they are.
Okay, we're gonna see if you're right. It's race time.
The teams will be racing their two-person dirt boats head-to-head around our triangular course. Now, because the wind is somewhat ferocious, our safety advisors have ruled that only the experts can drive, but they'll be taking one team member along with them as co-pilots. Now, it's the best of 3 races, and the winning team will sail through to the semi-finals.
Despite wind speeds around 25 miles an hour, it's a breeze for the geeks to hoist their metal sail.
Okay, you can let go.
Woo! Rolling thunder.
But the quantum mechanics have to enlist a little help from our judge.
Watch it, watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Full penetration.
Teams, it's the moment of truth. You will begin at the sound of the horn. Prepare to cast off. Ready, set.
And they're off. Our Desert Dirt Boat Derby is underway.
This way, to the right. I said right?
But right out of the starting gate, both teams are taking an unexpected turn, away from the first marker.
Kathy to Tyler,
This is Tyler. Go ahead, Kathy.
would I be right in thinking that the teams are actually tackling the course the opposite way round from what we were expecting?
Sailing usually isn't in a straight line. You have to pick the best sailing angle to get to the turning point most efficiently, quickest.
The geeks have the early lead, but any minute now, one of the boats could make a break for the first marker. And it's Nord and Kim who make the turn first. The quantum mechanics are going for the shorter route.
Come on, overtake him, Nord. Come on, Nord.
Dennis and Thomas are holding out a little longer for more wind, but now the geeks are turning too, and the race is really on.
Here's what's happened so far. Our teams must round marker 1 first, but because the wind was blowing from here and sailing with the wind directly behind doesn't work, Den Nord both tacked this way, waiting to turn until they could get more power from the wind. The quantum mechanics turned first, taking the shorter route. Dennis held out for longer, but with more of an angle on the wind, he's hoping Rolling Thunder will cruise along faster.
It looks like the quantum mechanics have actually found it.
They
They're
have.
really
They've got the
flying
boat
now.
hooked up nicely.
It's actually somewhat hard to tell who's in the lead at any one point.
But it's the geeks who get to the marker first.
It's so graceful.
Rolling Thunder!
They shouldn't celebrate too soon. The quantum mechanics are right behind them and closing the gap fast.
Kathy to Tyler.
Go ahead, Kathy.
It's very exciting in this first bend because I thought the quantum mechanics were quite a way behind, but actually they're almost catching up with the geeks.
It's neck and neck down the back straight.
Hey, look, are we catching him? Are we catching him? Oh my God, catching up.
And it looks like the green machine is pulling into the lead. But there's something wrong with their boat.
Oh, no, they're in trouble. They've buckled to the middle.
The quantum mechanics are kicking up dust, and it's not from their wheels.
Like, it's bent, but they're
Oh my God, it's bent all the way down.
That green tube has bent in the middle, and now it's working as an unwelcome brake. Rolling Thunder rolls away, and the quantum mechanics are dead in the dirt. This leg is over for them.
Dennis and Thomas power home at a thunderous 25 miles an hour. First leg to the geeks and their aluminium sail.
1, 2, 3, go!
So this is it, first time with a sail of this type, Dennis. You've got to be chuffed about that.
I was really happy with it. It performed probably better than I thought it would perform.
You know what is so cool? We didn't kick off once. We did the whole time with wind. No
Really?
feet, nothing.
The mechanic's boat has a badly broken body, but with 2 legs still to go, they're not about to give up and spring into action with some hasty repairs.
In the first leg, our sand yacht sailors were neck and neck until the quantum mechanics suffered a structural failure and the geeks rolled home to victory.
The quantum mechanics boat is badly damaged. The powerful force of the wind snapped their body right in the middle. With the sun sinking low, they've got just minutes to get it repaired.
Main binder. There you go. We'll just weld it.
The plan is to bend the broken tube straight and then run a chain down the length of the boat to stop it from sagging. The quantum mechanics are down, but they're not out. If there was an ace in the hole, what would it be?
Well, they've certainly got a very experienced expert, very good sailor, and that could well do it for them.
Is there anything you can do in terms of how you're sailing it that can give you a bit of an extra speed advantage over those little red devils?
I can pray.
Praying. Well,
Then the other thing.
It looks a little rough, but in a junkyard war, it's best not to judge by appearances.
As the desert day draws to a close, the quantum mechanics are back in the running.
Teams, here we go with heat number 2. Wait for the horn. Ready, set.
And there they go. The Quantums have to take this one to stay in the running. But all of a sudden, that fierce 25-mile-an-hour wind vanishes.
Oh, it looks like it's about 8 now. 7 to 8.
Yeah. So it's dropped considerably.
Yeah.
The wind has dropped to almost nothing now.
This leg has become a treasure hunt, with the teams looking for that golden puff of wind. And our dirt boat drivers are working up a sweat.
Hold on to your sheet.
There's just no wind.
The geeks have found some wind, but in this failing evening breeze, Dennis is wishing he hadn't cut down that sail.
Come on, geeks!
Kathy, it looks like the geeks are almost at your position. What do you see?
I'm walking alongside them, actually.
With the geeks round the first marker, the quantum mechanics are still searching for a gust. And now the geeks are pushing again, too.
There's no wind!
Can you give us any idea of what you can see from your vantage point?
I can see 2 machines doing extremely good impressions of
snails that have been injured in a horrible car accident.
So, Bob, is this going to break your 116 record?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
No.
So here's where the race stands. As before, the geeks and the quantum started out upwind to try and get a good shot at the first marker. They both looked around a bit, then the geeks got it, while the quantum mechanics took a little day trip in the centre of the dry lake bed. And now the geeks too are marooned on the back straight.
Bob, this has got to be one of the most exciting races I have ever seen inland yacht racing.
You haven't seen too many land yachting races, have you?
Don't look now, but somehow the geeks have got a second wind. And they're rounding the second marker, heading for home. But the quantum mechanics are buckling again, and with their contraption dragging on the ground, it doesn't look good.
Back on the sidelines, Rhett makes another move on Danielle.
Never any conflict.
It's a far cry from yesterday, but even geeks know how to kiss and make up.
Rhett, no consorting with the enemy.
You've already won. You've already won.
Nord 2 knows it's time to admit defeat.
Hi there. It was a struggle to catch up with you, but eventually...
We did. So it was a great race. We tried our best.
Yeah, we tried good. We tried good.
Even though they have to push a bit, the geeks rumble home. It's 2-0. And a memorable victory for Rolling Thunder and the world's first metal sail.
What a super job.
Nobody died. Nobody
died.
Rivalry or not, Nord takes the loss like a gent.
All right, MIT, there were no losers in this competition. First of all, the team that came in second, the Quantum Mechanics. Well done. Well done. But guess who's moving on to the next round?
The geeks!
Geek Power! Congratulations! Hey, if you thought that was fun, join us for the next edition of Junkyard Wars! Woo! Next time, we get down and dirty as the trash can heroes and the sewer rats slug it out with their garbage-guzzling street cleaners.
And we're kings of the junkyard. We are superheroes. And we're kings of the junkyard.